Thank you, everybody, for coming to the Preble Town Board meeting of July 8th, 2019. Are there any corrections, additions, or deletions to the minutes of our regular meeting on June 10th?
Move the minutes be accepted.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Jane?
Dog control, there was one bite case and the dog was brought into the county Country Acres by the owner. Noise complaint on Route 11, the dog was unlicensed. One dog running at large, it's a stray. 175 miles traveled for the town. Justice report, June fines, $11,310.
Thanks, Jane. Highway, Jeff?
Yes, y'all had a copy of the report. Main thing, Wright Road, be done with that by the end of this week. Town hall paving, we're gonna start right after that. Got some drainage work to do. I talked to Renee on those T-ball dugouts. They do use them for kickball, so she's secured the materials to fix them so they're not a hazard anymore. So I'll make sure they're not going to be where somebody can get hurt. And I also checked with Dan Deneen at the county planning, and there are no other Henderson roads in Cortland County. So he said no problem if you wanted to pursue that. And Don can probably help with what needs to happen there if you want that to happen.
Okay. Any questions for Jeff? Okay, thanks, Jeff. Recreation, do we have anyone from Recreation here today that wants to speak? County legislator is not here. Jane?
June report of zoning and code, 2 building permits issued, 68 miles traveled for the town, 14 building inspections, 38 hours worked, 2 fire inspections, 2 complaint follow-ups, 31 telephone inquiries. Planning board meeting, July 24th at 7 o'clock. ZBA meeting, August 1st at 7:30.
Thanks, Jane. Town historian, Jay, do you want to say anything?
I dug up some information about Ames. Shindig coming up, so I got some pictures and some other stuff. So get ready for that.
Okay, and we'll talk about that a little bit later in the meeting.
Okay.
Recreation, Renee, do you have anything you want to talk
Just
about?
a couple quick things. The updates at the park continue. I've called a few people that have the roof and the bathrooms done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different people. A lot of them aren't available or aren't interested in doing it. I've only really had 2 people that seem interested, and that is Barrett Construction and Drake Construction. And Drake Construction's come in at a lower price. I don't have them because I was rushing here. I'd really like the board to approve the ability to have Drake Construction, which would be Wayne Drake himself and a couple friends do the work at the park, which would be the new roof, the doors in the bathroom, the concrete, the extension so that the doors wouldn't rot anymore. I can bring the bid in so you guys can see it, but he'd be willing to do it on the days that the park's not being used in sections and have that done. He also gave us a bid last year, which was lower, but we only had 2 bids last year to do it. Program's all set for next year, or all set for this year. We start tomorrow. Our numbers are unknown until tomorrow for the program to start. Our baseball game has been shifted from Friday night to Saturday night. Pickup will be at the fire station, still $10 for a baseball game. Playground, I talked to Gina at the end of last week. There's approximately $4,800 currently in the buildings fund that we created on the sidebar. And I'd like to have approval to start purchasing some standalone playground pieces for the playground so the children have something to play on, so we can show that the funds that have been raised through our bottle and can drive and our chicken barbecues, people can see that that money is actually being used for that purpose. And then also to have the group get together and look at some playgrounds themselves to start being purchased to be put in. If I can get the board to approve that. Our last chicken barbecue, we made $530 after expenses. Special thanks to Jack, Mike, and Tom Stage, along with Kevin Kruger and Drake Construction for their hard work of setting it up and cooking for us. Old Timers Band will be here on August 6th at 7 p.m. to play. And as always, our park is filled up except for about 2 dates now for July and August for reservations. And that includes every weekend. And then we have some dates that are filled up during the week.
Good. Okay, so we need to make a resolution that Renee can spend some money for park equipment for kids up to the amount that you have designated for that equipment. And that's $4,800.
There's Gina said there's currently $4,800 and then there's an additional $500 here.
Okay,
That's about $5,000 we have right now. It's been raised with
Okay.
can and chicken barbecue. That
so we need a resolution for Renee to act on that.
I move that we authorize the Recreation Committee to spend up to $5,000 on recreation equipment.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried? Okay. Now, the other thing about the construction work, the renovation work, we really need to see the bids.
okay.
We need to see what people are bidding. And usually we want 3 bids, but in this case, I think you had a hard time in getting a 3rd bid, right? You called a few people and they were just busy for the season and they didn't want to bid.
Yeah, and I've had that. This is the 3rd year in a row that I've really tried to get like the roof and the bathrooms done.
Mm-hmm.
I've talked to you. I've talked to Jeff about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the most I'm getting is 2. Some people said they're just too busy, can't do it. Some people I've never received their bid from, even though they say they're going to give me one. And then, like I said, I've had really 2 that have given me one, and one is definitely lower than the other.
Mm-hmm.
You don't remember how much it was?
No, not off the top of my head. And I tried opening it up tonight, and when I tried to get on the town email, it wouldn't let me. It kept saying I had no connection. So I sent Tom a message. I don't know if it was mine at home because I don't have internet at home. So I had,
No, I couldn't get on it
yeah,
either.
I have to use the side, thing. So I couldn't get on it to print the one bid that I had. And then as I was rushing out the door, I forgot to grab the second. So
Okay.
Can we approve that on your, after you see the bids, so it's not another whole month? That we can,
Yeah, I would hate to waste a whole month in that. Yeah. Yeah.
You seeing the bid and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we have 2 bids. One is lower than the other. And from what you understand, it's within the range of well, it's within what we have designated for doing that work in our budget,
right.
according to Gina. Okay. Yeah, if you want to give me approval to do that.
What's it for? The roofs, roofs on the bathrooms?
Yeah.
So it's the roof on the pavilion that I asked for the quote for, the doors on the bathrooms to be replaced with the extension coming out, and then the concrete pad by the bathroom to be extended with new footers put in with the roof to come out so that 2 wheelchairs are bypassing each other for the handicap part of it. Does that make sense?
So the roof, you want to replace the whole roof on the pavilion?
There's leaks in the kitchen and there's leaks in the main pavilion part of it.
What are they gonna put back on it?
I don't believe it's the metal. It's just a regular plywood and then the shingles. I
Some
believe,
money.
I don't have it in front of me right now, Dave, so
You're gonna put all new trusses and everything's gonna be up there.
they'll replace some of the purlings and the ones that need to be replaced, but they won't replace all of them if they don't need to be.
Well, because that thing's only designed for steel. You go put all that shingles and wood on it. They're gonna put a bunch of new trusses and everything.
Like, and maybe I don't have it in front of me. I know whatever it is that they've given me, it's written on there.
Okay.
But I can give that to you.
Dave seems to be the most knowledgeable around this table on construction. So would you like to look at what she's got?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you can call me
Yeah.
All right,
and
I
just
can
let
do
me
that.
know whether you approve of it or not.
All right.
Okay. And then, but we would need we need board approval to go to have that process occur.
There must be a reason why they want to put an asphalt shingled roof on, not a metal. I don't know.
And
why
it may
they
be
would.
metal that they're gonna replace it with. I don't, like I said, I don't have it in front of me right now. I couldn't pull it out.
Yeah. Talk with them.
You think we need to have a special meeting or not?
No, I think Dave is probably competent enough to
Okay.
judge this, and then he can advise me, and then I can
Okay.
sign purchase order for it. As long as the board agrees on that,
I mean, I think we're talking about within the budget. that
within
we
the
got.
budget that we have.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so,
yeah, so, and Renee's already saying that it's within the budget
Right, right.
that is
Well,
allocated.
so if
for
it's work that we all think that should be done,
Mhm.
and it's
Mhm.
competent work.
Question of
you
the
know,
type
and-
of work.
Yeah,
really.
well, I'm
Right.
just saying, and so.
it. If you think it could be done better, Dave, then you can bring that up.
Yeah, so we're giving you guys the authority to make the decision,
Right,
you know, based on the data you have. I mean, the
Right.
decision could be, no, let's not do it, right?
yeah, I'll leave
Yeah,
that
yeah.
up to
No,
Dave.
but I'm
Yeah.
just saying,
Oh, yeah, the
yeah.
decision could be,
And no, we don't like this bit,
you know, we think maybe somebody else could do better,
or whatever.
have better ideas or something.
Right.
Yeah.
We need that in a motion form.
Yeah, I think so.
Make a motion to approve the
Authorize, right?
To authorize.
authorize Dave to look at it and then to his recommendation to Jim to fix the roof if it's goes by what they think. How are we going?
Up to the limit of the budget that we have.
Right.
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 I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Karen? Renee, anything else?
I believe that's it at the moment.
Okay.
And I have Don Fulmer's contract that we just have to sign afterward for them to be here on August 6th.
Okay, and we'll be talking about events on August 6th too, later in the meeting. Jane? Okay,
We collected $274, dispersed $257 to the town of Preble, and $17 to New York State Egg and Markets. Tax collector, I turned everything in. The tax warrant was given to me at $1,863,000. $1,863,661.90. And I returned 25 parcels at $61,433.82.
thanks, Jane. Okay, unfinished business. We want to continue on the topic of an evening of recognition for Ann Henderson. And we have come up with a date of August 6th on Tuesday at 5 o'clock at the Pavilion. And this would be before the Old Timers Band would be playing at 7 o'clock. So we would have about an hour of time to have people come up to a microphone and talk about Anne in the best way with the work that she has done over the years. And we'll have some light refreshments there. We'll have some bulletin boards with newspaper clippings. People will come with their stories. So we will designate that time, 5 to 6 o'clock, for that purpose. And the family knows about it already, and they approved, and they like the idea. So it's going to go out over our website and over Facebook. It will be advertised.
Jim, could
yeah.
you put on both marquees there? That seems to be a popular way to people to see it.
We can.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, that's okay.
Shouldn't.
This was your idea, so
I'm pretty sure that Jim Seward can come. They're not in session. I'll try very hard to get him to come. Bring a nice letter. I also, Jeff was right on the ball with renaming the sign there. Don probably knows more about, there is a procedure there, but even if it wasn't done at that time, this will never, I can't fathom anybody speaking against changing that road. perhaps Jeff could present that sign to the family there and get a nice picture of that,
Mhm,
and then mount it when the time comes.
mhm.
We might expect somewhere around 150 people. Ann's quite popular with the Tully Senior Center. She has a big family, many friends, so I like what you're doing, and to be commended for that. I think we can do something really nice.
Yeah, I think
Sounds
so
like it's
too.
right on track to be something really nice for her.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Those two things, Senator Stewart isn't in session, and they knew each other very well when they worked in the town.
Right.
I think that'd be nice if you could.
Could you pursue that?
Yes, I know Luann pretty good there.
Okay. Maybe he'll
Kinda
make a
like
stop
that.
down if he's in the area. He could swing by.
I really think he might.
Yeah.
I know he would send a letter
Mm-hmm.
for you.
Right.
But I have a good idea he might come.
Mm-hmm. So if anybody has any newspaper clippings or pictures, old photos that they would like to include, we'll have bulletin boards that you can pin them up. And we'll have an open mic for people to come up and speak if they want to about the old stories. And we'll have to put out chairs too. We're going to be putting out chairs for the concert anyway. So the concert will start at 7. So we're going to use that same evening. Hopefully a lot of those people can stay for the concert also. And it'll just be an evening for everybody.
I'm not familiar. Do people bring their own chair for the concert? Some might. And that
Some might.
plus the picnic tables.
Yeah.
Cover a pretty good area.
Yeah.
Could
Yeah.
possibly get a couple of tables for the downboard to be up against the kitchen there. I think we can add
Mm-hmm.
the
So-
downboard meet could be.
Yeah. So if
I think-
anybody wants to help out,
People do bring a chair from time to time if they'd like to.
yeah, people can get there early and
Yeah.
help set up whatever they're going to set up. And I think with everybody pitching in a little bit, it'll be a nice evening. Providing the weather's okay. Can't guarantee that though.
I've got another meeting to run to, Jim. I hate to eat and run, but.
No, it's okay.
I would like to thank the
Mhm.
board very much for doing this. This is something that the town will appreciate and know again.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
I don't know if Ann knows about it, but her family definitely knows about it.
She,
Yeah, she does.
She does know?
she should know. It would be very hard to surprise her.
Mhm.
But, yeah, I think her family will definitely make sure that everything's guided along the right.
Mhm. Mhm. Thanks for coming, Pete.
Thank you very
Thanks for
much.
the idea too.
I hate to scoot and run.
No, it's okay.
See everybody later.
Okay. Okay, so August 6th at 5:00. You think most of the board members will be there that night? Anybody have a conflict or anything? Okay,
I think it's good. I can
Yeah.
check.
okay, good. Does any questions about this? You can call me.
Okay.
I'm coordinating it. Jay is also working on this too. He's gathering information. New business. I came up with an idea of compensation for planning and zoning board members. I think those are jobs that are very important for the town. And they work hard at that job. They serve the town. Jim Harris, you know this.
Mhm.
And I think maybe a nominal compensation similar to what we do with town historian, where we make a payment at the end of the year in December for planning board and zoning board members. I'm thinking of around $500 for the year as a flat fee, and we can pay them. I don't want to have to count meetings, how many meetings a year did you have? And, rather just make it a flat amount and say that's a token amount that we can pay people for getting on those boards and devoting their time and energy for the town.
Yes, I'm all for that. I really think it'll help bring people, maybe kick them over the line, the edge to serve
Mm-hmm.
because it's an expense.
Mm-hmm.
You you put in time, it's a lot of time is more than once a month sometimes. So
Right,
yeah, so
Right.
it would be very beneficial, I think, for the town to do
Right.
that.
right,
Nice little Christmas bonus for them.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Do other towns do that?
Don, have you investigated other towns?
Yeah, I talked to Cortlandville,
Mhm.
the town supervisor. Of course, it's a bit different town than we are, but
Mhm.
they actually pay both the planning board members and the ZBA. It's by the meeting,
By the meeting?
Yeah.
Okay,
and it's well over $100.
per meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm thinking that we don't have a meeting every month on those boards. So I don't think they're gonna meet 12 months of the year. And someone would have to count the meetings. Did we meet? Did we not meet? I would, similar to what Jay does. Jay does his work as town historian, and he gets a lump sum at the end of the year. And I'd prefer to do it that way rather than counting meetings.
What's the other towns pay? Other than Cortlandville. Cortlandville's a bigger,
Yeah,
That's the only
No.
town I
yeah.
talked
That's
to.
the only town you talk to.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
call Homer.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know what other towns pay.
I can certainly check that out.
Mm-hmm.
we can't compare with Cortlandville.
No, absolutely.
Well, if Cortlandville members are getting, say, $1,200 a year,
They meet more often than,
yes, they do. They do.
Right, but they get paid per meeting.
Yeah.
They meet twice a month. They get paid for the 2 meetings.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
right?
So we don't have to make a decision right now, but budget time comes in the fall, September, October. And I'd like to present this to Gina and let her know what we're thinking. Does anybody have any questions or comments about this?
Just have Don look into it and see what other towns, if Cortlandville's the only other one, then
Mhm. Yeah.
One thing might
Start
be to
up.
take a look at how many meetings people would have over their terms. They're appointed for an X-year term. If we look back, what was the number of meetings that they had during that period? Average per year or whatever. So if there were some, and then adjust the compensation up or down based on,
right.
our initial compensation. I think that Jim's right. A flat annual fee is probably the appropriate way to go, but just kind of figuring out what that is. If the average number of meetings is 3 a year, that's different than if it's 8 a year.
Yeah, but that can change.
No, I know,
overnight.
but
Yeah.
if we look back, and we can always adjust going
Right.
forward. I'm just saying,
Right.
it's just a way to look at it. You pick 500 out of there. It's a
Right.
nice round number. But,
Right, it's a round number.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
It's a starting point to get
Right.
this discussion
Yeah,
going.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, okay, so I can look around too at towns similar to us and try to find out what they're paying their planning and zoning board members. And Don, if you could just find out, like some towns that are
Yeah.
similar.
I can
To
certainly Homer, Virgil.
They'll give us some guidelines on that.
Yep.
Okay, next item for new business. We need to reappoint Bill Barrett as town assessor. He just completed a 6-year term. And so he needs to be reappointed before September by the state. The state is telling us that we need to reappoint him or appoint somebody else. So I think Bill's doing a good job. I haven't heard too many complaints about him. Of course, the job that he has, there'll always be some complaints against him. But I think he's doing
Is there
well.
anybody else that has applied for that or anything?
No,
Nobody's knocking the door down.
nobody's waiting in line.
No line.
Which is a good point, because if there was somebody who was really, really interested and they kept bothering us about it, we might entertain
The thought.
the thought of interviewing them or something. But no, there isn't anybody. And, so when Bill mentioned this to me, he didn't say anything about salary increase or anything like that. So his salary is going to stay the same, and he would be appointed for another 6 years. So we need a motion to reappoint Bill Barrett.
I'll make a motion to reappoint Bill Barrett for assessor on a Preble.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried? Okay. And we have another appointment too. Linda Pearson, how do you pronounce her last name? Bosian?
Yeah.
Okay, she just got married.
She's remarried, yeah.
All right. She wants to join the planning board. And that was Amy, right? You kind of cultivated her to come to this decision?
Well, no one knows. No, she's interested.
She's
And I
interested.
spoke with Maureen, she's fine with it. Maureen is chair of the planning board.
Okay.
Yeah,
So if we-
I spoke with Maureen earlier.
So if we appoint her, she would definitely show up at the next
Oh,
meeting.
absolutely. I
Okay.
talked to her this morning.
Okay, okay, just verifying. All right, so we have a planning board member, and that will give us 5 board members, which is what we want. So Linda Pearson Bosian, she's the one that owns the quilt shop on Little York Lake.
She was featured in the last newsletter.
Yes, she was. So we need a motion to appoint her.
I'll make a motion to appoint her.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Harry?
So is just to clarify, is she filling anyone's term?
Probably.
So she would be for the balance of that person's term.
Okay.
So we need to figure that
I'll
out.
look it up.
Mhm. Okay, good. Monies received, we received $1,771.89 from Northeast Transformers. We received $741.92 from USPS. And usually we have a whole list of income, but those are the only 2 sources we have this month. At this time, I'd like to open the meeting up to public comment or questions. Anybody has anything they want to say?
Just a update. I went down just about 2 weeks ago to the meeting they had at the county office building on workers' comp.
Mhm.
And most people know that the Village of Homer dropped out last year of the workers' comp. The biggest concern is that the city of Cortland has talked about dropping out of it. And I don't have papers here. If anybody wants them, I'd be happy to get you. They quite packets. And a lot of it was in the weeds type material. There's a couple of good charts in there. And basically, their estimates are our workers' comp could go up about $3,000 a year if the city of Cortland dropped out. The other, and they need to know by July 31st per local county law, if they're going to drop out, and anybody that does drop out per that same laws cannot get back in on it for 5 years. So you can't just go cherry picking through it and bouncing in and out. But the other discussion sidebar that was held afterwards is that small municipalities like us, we're not going to be able to go shopping with 3 or 4 employees on comp and get any rate. Others have, and it's just not been a good result, trying to get out of the county system. If the bigger ones do, that's one thing. And Betty Ann, I know you're familiar with it. Back X years ago, the town of Hartford had a fatality of a young person. And in looking at our $13,000 or $14,000 a year comp payment, they're paying $70,000 a year. And their town is not, in worse shape than ours as far as financially, I'm sure. So I don't want to call it levity, but some kind of perspective.
Another big one is the Village of Homer, like when they had John.
Yeah. So that's,
So
and
that's
the other
what
thing,
makes into it, so what the,
they had people from ESIP there, and they were giving just everything was very generalized, and without having the cost basically shared by everybody in the comp of bringing in an actuary and getting hard numbers. They didn't know the real numbers until everybody's either in or out. There's so many combinations with all the different municipalities. If this one left and that one stayed in, or this or that, they were all over the board. So what the general consensus was, and what even people from the city were there, they're pushing to stay in it for this year so we can get a little better grip on it with Homer leaving. And so I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but if they can get the city to stay in it and try to get, because this has never really happened before, so there's a moving target. So, but
Now,
it's
Homer
a
left-
lengthy meeting.
Homer left after the deadline, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they weren't really playing
They
fair.
were playing by the rules.
Right.
But and that was brought up, and it was also discussed that, the county or the compensation municipalities suing the village of Homer. Are there any winners with that?
Should be, because that's where the expense went up. Same as Hartford.
Yeah.
If they drop out,
Well, and
we're gonna pick up their share, but we have to pay continuously for their children
well, the thing is,
because they're
there's
under
two
the policy.
types. There's two types of moving out of the system. And I'm no pro at this, but just what I picked up was that there's picking up all your balls and bats and leaving the system and finding somebody that will take your current liabilities. And then there's assessing a fee structure to have your current liabilities stay within this system. They still, if there's any money going out of this system, there's fees assessed to that municipality. Because if you had a big loss, you'd be hard pressed to find somebody that pick up on that going outside.
Mm-hmm.
Where did Homer go?
I don't know that came up, Jim. We'll find out. But,
Because it's supposed to be, they're supposed to remain in for X number of years. That was way back when we started that.
mhm.
But the thing is, a larger community like Homer or like the city, they can go out and shop and get maybe a better deal. We can't shop because we're too small. So,
And the other thing that wasn't brought into that, because some towns cover the firemen directly, and others it's done through the fire district gets a bill, and that muddied some waters too. Does the whole municipality leave, or does each taxing entity? So it got weedy real fast, and the general consensus after an hour and 40 some minutes was try to get everybody just pulled together and at least put some color into the gray areas by next year, so you'd could make a good decision. But and it'd be interesting to see in a couple of years how the village of Homer does as far as was it good decision or bad.
mhm.
But, they left in November, and you're supposed to know by end of July, so that screwed up all the county's figures for everybody for the year.
Mhm. Any other questions, comments? Dan?
I just wanted to make a comment about the compensation for the boards.
Okay.
I don't need it. I don't know if it's a good idea. I probably feel guilty. I've been doing this for like 30 years. I
Right.
should continue to do it, but it's the label, so I'll do it. But I used to be the secretary. I did the minutes. I made arrangements to get everybody there because this was before email. And I called the attorney when we needed him. So I did all that, and I still didn't get compensated. So
Mhm.
I don't see a need now.
Mhm.
I guess I just want to let you know that.
Okay. Well, Jeff and I were talking this afternoon, and Jeff has a solution for that question, right, Jeff?
As it came up with compensation, I just brought up that most everybody here knows Andrew Fuller over in Town of Scott. His town board pay, he donates that back to the recreation department something he does. Just this person doesn't need, he gives it back to the town.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. That's one way you can
Can you
handle
do
it.
that without paying taxes on it. I don't think you can.
Well, you can deduct the
You don't-
taxes and then
Yeah, you donate the net.
donate the balance.
Different income.
We can figure that out for you. Don't worry.
Right. But I think, I mean, me personally, I think that those board members, they give up their time, they drive here, they put their mental energies into topics like Jim has, and sometimes these issues can be very involved. And maybe some people around the board would like to have the money at Christmas time. You know?
No, I was on, when the zoning started, I was nominated. When the zoning started, I was on that board until I took over on the town board.
Mhm.
I never even thought of compensation for any work I did. I figured I'm improving the town by putting your 2 cents in. If you don't want to do it, then somebody else is willing to do it.
Mhm.
That's the way I looked at it.
Well, it is becoming increasingly difficult to find people to fill these boards.
It was then, because we had some only 1 month and they're gone.
Mhm.
But there was some of old timers like me stayed.
Right, right.
What's gonna happen when, all these people now wanna join the board, you know, planning board or whatever, because they're gonna get paid, and they go to 1 or 2 meetings? I almost think you'd be better off paid by the meeting.
Well, we could. I mean, this is all open for discussion. That's why we're bringing it up, and we've got to start somewhere. So we could pay by the meeting, or we could pay a flat rate at the end. It's just that, or we could take an average of the meetings over the years and see how many times did the board meet over the last 5 years, per year.
How many people attended the meeting, so.
Right.
Well, that's the other thing.
Right,
Is that's the other wrinkle in it, is if somebody doesn't show up.
but I'm gonna get that 500 at the end of the year, so I'm gonna be on that, you know.
But you gotta track
You
it
do
all,
have
but you could come up with a system where they have to turn in a statement at the end of the year. This is the meetings I attended, and then you
Mhm.
pay them without having somebody track
That's
all
the
of that.
secretary,
Secretary can do that.
Mark,
Yeah.
who's here.
Yeah,
Right,
So you can look at those minutes and pick out how many
Yeah.
got here.
right.
yeah.
That'd be
I'll
simple.
report to somebody's.
And if you get paid by the meeting, then
Good.
if the people
And
don't
sign
show
at
up,
the meeting.
And that would encourage them to go to the meeting.
it would encourage them to go to the meeting.
But I think you're gonna open up a can of worms with this.
We might.
Okay, how about the fire department? All the hours they put in up there,
Mhm.
what do they get? So they'll
Yeah.
wanna get paid.
Well,
So
I
you
know
gotta
that
look at that, they're volunteering more than once a month here.
the Board of Assessment and Review, they used to work as volunteers and they wanted to get paid, so they get paid something for their meeting here.
Now, do we have anybody on both boards? Because we talked about that last month.
Amy is.
2 checks.
You know, you
Amy's on
look
both.
at it.
Well,
We have Amy on
what the
both boards. She's going to,
Did you get 2 checks?
Why not?
she's on both boards,
She's
yeah.
on both boards.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I mean, just putting it out there.
Mhm. Mhm.
Doing twice the work, so.
But clearly it's for further discussion.
That's why we're discussing this, yeah. And we also have other people who do other volunteer work too for the town. And they work hard also. What about them? So all these things really should be discussed. But I'm just putting it out there on the table because I think that, I think planning and zoning, they should get something anyway.
A little harder to get people.
It's harder to get them because the average person, resident of the town, they're going to say, I can work for my employer or my side job, my whatever,
Yeah,
around
your
the
firemen's
house.
the
and-
same way. Look at the hours they put in.
Who?
The fire department.
Oh,
A
yeah.
number of the fire
I
department,
totally
more
agree, yeah.
than 1 month,
Yeah.
meeting a month.
Yeah.
So I mean, you gotta take that into consideration too.
Yeah.
And if they do, look at your taxes are gonna go up, all the members of the department.
But fire department is a separate district, right?
Right.
But it
Yeah,
comes out of
that's-
this taxes though. They put it in their bill for this
Right.
tax.
Mhm.
Did the state of New York give them?
Yeah, there's some benefits.
I was gonna say, yeah, there are
Yeah, there's
benefits to
benefits
being a
there through the state.
$100.
I didn't know what, I knew there was something. I didn't know what.
Well, then we'll give zoning
I mean,
and
after
planning board
taxes.
members, $100. You know, I mean, this is all open for discussion, and it's good that we're discussing it. Because whenever a topic like this comes up, there's always wrinkles in it. There's always unintended consequences that result from it. So we can discuss it more next month. We can all think about it, think about questions that would come up.
You know, it's really part of your budgetary process, you know.
Yeah, because in the fall, I'll be getting together with Gina about the budget. And either we do something like this or we don't. So,
So from what, 4 people and 5 people, 9 people total,
yeah, we've got 10 people,
10 people.
5 people on each board.
It's easy math.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, any other questions or comments? Anything else? Okay, we need a motion to pay the general fund vouchers.
Make a motion, pay general fund vouchers, abstracts number 7, numbers 139 to 155, totaling $2,118.49.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
I
Need a motion to pay the highway fund vouchers.
make a motion to pay the highway fund vouchers, abstract number 7, NOS 63-270, totaling $24,751.69.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. And at this time, the Preble Town Board needs to go into executive session to discuss a personnel issue. So when we're done with that, we'll open the door and then we'll adjourn the meeting.
Didn't make that motion to go into executive session. Let's make it.
Don, do we need to make a motion to go into executive session?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Move we go into executive session.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
So you have to-